It was quite tragic for me. It was very, very tragic for me because we'd had some strain for some time. And we had separated and we were kind of on the journey back towards each other when he died. And I even write about him on this album. Like, I had a lot of hopefulness toward marriage, settling down. And then when it ended, I was very disappointed and I was very sad. Still am.
The show is Engineer Your Life, and I'm Lungelo. Okay, if you are new here, I'm heavily judging you because where have you been? On this podcast, we are the home of growth conversations. So what we do here, we have conversations with people you love, people you may know or not know of, and we get to be more vulnerable, speak about things that they perhaps don't necessarily want to share with the public. But the reason they're able to do that here is because we respect their boundaries, we respect who they are and everything that they've built. Today's no different. I'm with an incredible young man whose music, when we have awards, always seems to come in when people want to cry.
Oh my, yes.
When people want to remember people that they love.
Yeah.
Full circle, because that's something that's happening to you, perhaps, in the music that you've given us. But before we get there, Mr. Nkosinathi Nhlakanipho, better known as Langa Mavuso, how's your heart today?
Ooh, how's my heart today? I'm feeling very content right now in my life. I think that I've been working toward getting to a place where
Sure.
you know, and so I feel like I kind of have it right now. Not completely, but yeah, in my life. There's a lot of peace, and a lot of stillness,
Sure.
you know, because there's a lot going on, and if I allow myself to be consumed by it, then it might be a problem. But I'm just grateful to God that I'm able to be so grounded right now.
You say there's a lot of ukuthula, directly translated meaning peace. For you to be able to recognize that there's a lot of peace right now, it means you acknowledge that there were many seasons where there wasn't peace.
Oh my God, yes.
What is a non-peace season look like for you?
Sure, I think that when I was going through a lot of grief, there was not a lot of peace in my life. I think that when I was searching for love and companionship and support, there wasn't a lot of peace. I think that when I was spending a lot of time with people that I shouldn't have been spending time with, there wasn't a lot of peace, because sometimes distraction can be your best friend. Sure. when you're in chaos, you
Sure.
know. Instead of ukubhekana that you're going through, you end up finding yourself in a place where you're trying to look the other side or trying to do things that don't allow you to actually process. And so I had a season of that, of mess, I would call it, you know, where I was just going out a lot, I was drinking a lot, I was partying a lot.
People pleasing, perhaps?
Yeah, a lot of people pleasing.
Yeah.
A lot of people pleasing. And I'm glad that that version of myself is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it can be quite detrimental to the self. And also, you can lose yourself in all of that. So I've been trying my best to be comfortable on my own, and to find peace in not having to have people around all the time.
Do you regret that season?
No, I don't regret it at all. I think that I had to go through everything that I went through to become who I am now. I think that there's been many lessons that have come from the season of the friends that was a lot of self-destructiveness, from the season of relationships where I let my true self die and I chose to please the next person. I think there was a lot of learning that came from avoidance.
Sure.
You know, because there was a lot of avoidance that was happening, and I would just like wake up and be out and about and out and about and out and about and come home and just fall into the bed and do the same thing the next day, you know, and it was quite it felt fun, I think, in the moment.
Sure. It felt fun.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it felt fun in the moment until it wasn't anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
until there were just like disappointments that were happening just for the people, the people who were very close to me, where I wouldn't show up like I said I would show up, and where I was just feeling not like myself a lot of the time. And that's when I eventually got to a pause and I was like, are we going to wait for rock bottom to change, or are we going to try sort this out right now? And I had to make the change. I had to go into therapy. I had to create routine. And the Yazi Ndimnandi is that when something is not right for you, life has a way of distancing you from it or removing it completely. And I don't feel like I had to per se remove myself from certain people or certain things. I just had to let life take its course.
Sure.
And so it did.
Yeah.
You know, I slowly found myself no longer surrounded by certain people. I slowly found myself no longer feeling the need to be out of the home all the time. I slowly found myself really enjoying things like taking a hike, going to yoga, resting, being with my parents more.
Yeah.
And so my family's been my grounding so beautifully. Church has been beautiful for me. So the peace, the non-peace, it started to disgruntle me and to feel uncomfortable. And that's how I was able to take note of it and take stock of it.
You know, there is something so important that you're not saying that people should not go out and find community with other people.
Yeah.
But you're highlighting that when going out becomes your identity,
Yeah.
fun becomes your identity, one day you'll realize that it's not fun. It's dysfunction, actually.
Yes.
And it's only when you are trying to let go of dysfunction, you realize that wasn't it.
Yeah.
That wasn't it. All this time I thought, no, this is what everybody does. But you're losing relationships, as you're saying. You're not showing up for your parents or your siblings, because how can you show up for a sports day when you are hangover?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's an interesting realization.
It really is. And like, I think for me, all things in moderation, I think that life begs for balance.
Sure.
You know, and so it's not a thing of one or the other. I think that they can all coexist with one another. I just think that it becomes a problem when one becomes greater than the other. You know, I think there's also a problem with isolating too much.
Yes.
I think there's also a problem with working only.
Yes.
You know, I think there's also a problem with not working enough and just being with family and friends, you know. And so for me, it's like a tricky dance of constantly trying to find the balance and also learning to say the no's. You know, because it's easy to say yes to everything when it comes to work, because it's like, oh my God, this has been a dream for me. I went to the National School of the Arts and I was this kid who had this big dream. And so I wanted all of this, you know. I wanted to shoot the movie. I wanted to play the shows. I wanted to be out and about all the time. So let me take every single opportunity. And then you lose time out with the family and with the health and with the rest. And then then you're out of balance. Same thing with spending time with the friends too much, you know, is that now you're constantly out sitting at a restaurant or at parties or at events and all of those things. And so now your work starts to struggle because now you're arriving half ready or half full to share. Same thing, like you're cocooning yourself too much with your family and now you're not allowing yourself to experience the world. And why cheat yourself of that experience? Because there's so much beauty to be experienced in this world and there's so much to learn, outside of reading. I think just to be in nature, to go into different communities and experience different things that you wouldn't necessarily explore on a normal day. I have like that yearning and that thirst for life a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So it's doing that dance for me, like finding the balance between all of it. Cause sometimes it's a little bit more of the one than the other. And, when that does happen for a long period of time, then I try to rebalance it later.
Is fame a burden?
I don't think I'm the kind of famous that is burdensome, to be honest with you. I think I have supporters and listeners, and I think that that community is one that carries me and supports me. I don't necessarily think that I have the problems of a famous person.
Okay.
And I'll say this because I have very famous friends
Sure.
whose lives are pried into quite often. I can
Do you desire it?
Not really. I think I have a desire for a large platform.
Okay.
And for a large audience, and I do enjoy playing like when I played the tours with the international artists, with your Boys to Men, with your Layla Hathaways, with your Tamias, who am I forgetting? Kenny Latimore. When I played those shows in those arenas, I was having a hell of a time.
Yes.
And anyone who would have seen me there could tell you that, oh my God, he loved every single moment that he was on that stage. He owned it. But it doesn't mean like I crave the rest of the things that come with like a humongous amount of fame, which is a lack of privacy sometimes. And also opinions that are not asked for.
Unwarranted.
Unwarranted opinions. I think maybe if it happens, it happens. But I think I've been able to maintain the peace and the privacy, and I've been able to share what I like to share thus far with the people that are privy to who I am. Fame is what it is. It's just a part of the job. I don't think it's a burden. No, not yet.
I'll start pushing you.
Yeah.
We enjoy your music.
Yeah.
From, was it Sunday Blues?
Yes.
I think that's the breakthrough song.
Yes.
You gave us Langa, the album with a few great songs that we all loved. And then one day, this Langa Mavuso, whom we know just for the music, because that's all you've been given, music and the artistry.
Yeah.
And I think you were, as you're saying, you're lucky that you're one of those people where the community didn't pry into your life.
Yeah.
And because of life unfolding and how it unfolds, you have no choice but to live through pain in front of us, because life decides to take the love of your life.
Yeah.
Many shockers for your community.
Uh-huh.
Shockers regarding your sexuality. Shockers regarding weight. They were in a relationship.
Yeah.
Shockers regarding also a chief mon, also zenzi chief mon.
Yeah.
How do you deal all at once with all these revelations to community on the day you discover that your partner Chef Lenzo has passed away?
Sure. What a tough day. So I was in rehearsal for an orchestra show in Cape Town. On the day he was supposed to fly into Cape Town to come and see me and to spend some time with me and come and watch the show as well, because this was the big dream, right? I had written Sunday Blues in varsity about him. And when I played it for him for the first time, I'd said to him, my biggest dream is to play this song with an orchestra. And so here I am, like seated in the moment of realization of this dream. And I get a call from his sister, and his sister tells me he's not feeling well. And I thought, oh my God, is this like a story so that he doesn't have to come anymore? And she calls me again, and she says, no, we really need to figure something out. Can we get some help? And I called my aunt. My aunt goes over to his house, and she finds the situation to be quite dire. And she takes him and his sister to the hospital. And she leaves him at the hospital, and I hear nothing from them for the rest of the day. I'm in rehearsal, and I'm on this wine farm, and we're with this orchestra, and as we're rehearsing, I start to feel a change inside of me and like something move within me. And I felt the wind at some point, like really, really just like go off. And I say to my director, I think he's just died. Cause my director was the only person that had known that he had gone to hospital because they'd worked together on a cooking show before. And I told them that he was coming. And so, I said that he's not feeling so well. So I just might need my phone on stage with me because I didn't usually have it on stage with me.
Sure.
And as we finished playing Sunday Blues, went back to the hotel. I'm with a friend of mine, Uspogazi, who's an opera singer. And I get the call that he's died. It was quite tragic for me. It was very, very tragic for me because we'd had some strain for some time. And we had separated, and we were kind of on the journey back towards each other when he died. And so even him coming to Cape Town was part of that repair. And so, yeah, it was quite painful. It was quite painful to have to go through that and to have to feel those emotions. My parents immediately flew down. My siblings immediately flew down. My friends came down. And then I had to make the decision whether I was playing the show or not. And I said, this was my dream. I'm going to have to play the show.
Sure.
But my community is here, so someone will be with me.
Yeah.
And the production gave me the opportunity to have someone with me all the time. So I would go to rehearsal with either my mom or my brother or my sister or my cousin or my friend, and they would be with me throughout every step of the way because we had 3 days left and we had 3 days of the show. And we played the show, and it was announced that he died, and we dedicated the show to him. And yeah, everything kind of unfolded from there. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't very much privy to what people had to say.
Sure.
I was sharing that my partner had left, and I was not. I mean, I'd heard from cousins and friends that so and so is saying this, they've seen that, and the other. But it's very difficult for me in a moment of grieving to be worried about a stranger.
Correct.
And a stranger who hasn't lived with me, who hasn't lived my life, who hasn't lived with us in the 8 years that we lived together, who just was never between those those walls with us. And so I found it okay for people to have their opinions and stories because he also had a life which had its inconsistencies with our relationship. And so I could imagine that there were people out there who had their own stories
with
and
him,
their own feelings, yes, with him.
Yeah.
And so it was never going to be my place to
say they're invalidated.
Yeah, I was never going to invalidate them because that's your story and that's your story with him. Do you know what I mean? It has nothing to do with me. And the decisions that he made with you, I was never privy to and I was never in the room for. What I know is what I know and it's my experience. And so To speak to the Chief Mona story, I didn't make the decision for his family to embrace me,
Sure.
you know. Unfortunately, our families knew each other. He spent Christmas with my family.
Unfortunately.
Well, fortunately, yes.
Yeah.
He spent Christmas with my family a couple of times. He was at family braais. I've met all of his family. I'd known his mother. I'd slept over at her house in Adams. I've been to the house in Mlazi. So it wasn't a matter of me trying to make myself anything
Got you.
but what they had known of our lives.
You
know, and also my aunt took him to the hospital the day that he died.
Sure.
So if
Further signify
you know,
a bond.
yeah. So and
yeah.
she loved him so much,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And so if maybe there was some residual happenings between people and him during that time, it's not mine to tell, and it's not mine to have to carry, because those weren't my relationships, you know. And so yeah, out of respect to him, because he can't respond for himself, I choose not to engage anything that has nothing to do with me.
Sure. Did you, in your mourning period, because what mourning does, we think so intricately about the life of the person that we are mourning. Did you ever feel like we wasted so much time fighting?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of that. I think that I wished that there was more grace given to one another. But I also had moments where I understood that sometimes death in its finality makes us forget the mistakes that people make. And so the significance of a moment becomes a little bit bigger only because someone has died.
I get you.
So if the light fell on you right now and you were gone, the significance of this moment of me sitting with you would become way bigger than it would be with me just leaving and having finished this interview, because you're gone, because now I've had this experience that is a final one and that can't be repaired or redone or reimagined.
Sure.
And so I think that in the journey of the grief, there was a lot of acceptance that had to happen, of decisions that were made, and of the path that we just decided to take. I'm glad in the moments that I chose myself and had walked away,
I get you.
and in the moments that I went back and worked on things, because I truly, truly loved him. And I think that he really, really loved me too. And so it was the thing that kept us coming back, you know. And yeah, I don't think there's many regrets, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I think you even hear it in the song You Live On. And it was like a real thing that we used to say to each other, that we love first, love always. Whenever we get to the point in a fight where we think that we're crossing the line, we would have to stop each other and go, we have to put love first and love always. Because we might come back to one another and we might meet each other later on in life. And so whatever we might say or do, let's think about that first, to put love first. And make sure that it's love always, in whatever way that we engage one another. And so, yeah, there's not much regret. No, there's a lot of peace, I must say.
Why do you think your families got along so well? And the reason I'm dwelling on the intricacies of your relationship is because we're going through an era right now where there's a young South African man who's 13, 14, and because of social media and misogynists, they're feeling invalidated about who they are and their queerness. But here you're telling us that there's families involved, there's normality, there's building a life together, there's ups and downs, which is everything that happens in any normal, healthy relationship, right? How did you guys achieve the involvement of families in your union?
I don't think we gave them a choice. I'll be very honest with you. I don't think that we ever gave them a choice. I think that we just did life together.
Sure.
I mean, we moved back from Cape Town because he met me when I was in varsity. And we decided to move to Joburg, and I was coming back home. He found some work this side, and the more the years went by, the more we wanted to be with each other.
Sure.
And so it was like, I mean, the first time I moved in with him, I lied to my mom and said, I'm going to go stay with a friend.
Of course.
You know? And then eventually over time, when we got a place together, like after
Officially.
some years, yeah, my mom came over and I was like, I'm pretty sure you know what's going on. You know, and when he's at Christmas, because I also have an aunt who's just like,
Tandinjava.
yeah. And like we walk in and she goes, Nisha Danini. And I could see my dad's face going, ugh. You know, like this is a conversation that we haven't had.
Yeah.
But it's clearly happening and it's happening right in front of our eyes.
Sure.
I think he had the conversation with his siblings and then later on with his mom and his older sister. And so I think we were at a place in our lives where we were adults, we were self-sufficient, and not in a place where we were reliant on anyone. And so it allowed us to live our lives according to the beat of our souls. And they kind of had to like move with us or not interact with us. And we were lucky enough that everyone was quite warm and accepting. But he was also like very charming, like very, very charming human being. My dad, who wasn't the warmest to the idea, loved him so much, and they could sit and they could bride together. And I thought that was so bizarre, but I think it speaks to his nature. And I find that a lot of moms like me, like when I meet my friends' moms, I automatically become an extra son.
Sure.
You know, so maybe with his family, it's the likability that exists in me, especially with like parents and elders because of how I was raised, just in Hlonipho. And I think with him, same, Behlonipha kakhulu, very, very respectful guy. But like sweet, sweet words,
Yeah.
you know? Very sweet, sweet words, very charming, very warm. Like the smile just like takes all your walls down. So it was hard not to like him. So even if they didn't want to like him, they probably kept it to themselves.
You've been in a relationship for a long time that now everybody has now become aware of.
Yes.
With this one person, notwithstanding the issues that you guys had. You now have grieved and it's time to move on.
Yeah.
Langa, is it easy to date after so much people knowing about you? You're popular and you're known to be in a very long relationship.
Yeah.
How do you navigate dating again?
Man. I'm such a lover of love. And I think that the people that I've seen after him have never felt like they're missing any part of me.
Okay.
You know, and I think it's because from the beginning, I share where I am in my process of grief and how I'm navigating those things. And I think even in my first relationship after him, which lasted for some time, it felt amazing. You know, it felt amazing to feel like I was worthy of love, that someone out there was willing to try with someone that has a past like mine. And it was beautiful for a very, very long time. I had a great time with him. And he was very loving and taught me a lot and helped me grow a lot and helped me heal a lot.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I was still healing. And it got to a place where he was just like, I don't know if I can hold your hand any longer. You know, so go do what you need to do by yourself. And I've met some other people, and it seems like there are a lot of people are willing
yeah
to try. I just haven't met one that makes me as crazy as I was.
Yeah.
I think the previous one, I'm still maybe letting go of that person.
Yeah.
You know, because I had a very beautiful relationship with him.
Sure.
And I even write about him on this album. Like, I had a lot of hopefulness toward marriage, settling down. And then when it ended, I was very disappointed and I was very sad. Still am, to a certain extent. Yeah, I think when the time is right, the right person will come along. And I won't have to like do anything for it.
And over explain and
No, I'm not gonna have to do anything.
Sure.
Absolutely anything. It's just going to walk into my life the same way that Lindsay did.
If you could describe your music in one sentence, what does it stand for?
Ooh, love. It stands for love. Love of self, love of community, love for the world, you know? I try to encapsulate that yearning for love that I have, and just the spirit of just constantly being surrounded by that makes me feel love. So yeah, I think it's about love, it's about healing, it's about reflection.
Are we not too Mjolo centered though? And that music perpetuates that. I feel like a lot of people, because you're saying your music also stands for self-love. A
Yeah.
lot of people go into relationships without self-love.
Yes.
And they then bleed in there because the self-love is at a very low tank.
Yeah.
So do you not feel like love music to an extent adds on to the pressure of people would say, I must be in a relationship and I must be in love?
I mean, I think there's artists who can cater to your different versions of yourself.
Okay.
And I think that on this album, I speak to myself a lot more than anything. That the first song, Ghost, is really a reflection of the disappointment that a younger version of me might have in who I am now. And I speak to the prison that I'm held in by that younger version of myself. And so there's a reflection of how do I accept myself there already. And then we move on to the next two songs, which speak to my disappointment in God, because is there some sort of sadistic plan over my life that I must only know pain, and that if I have love, it doesn't last and it doesn't stay forever. And so even then I reflect on my relationship with God. And then there's the songs that really reflect on Mjolo, you know. And then even on the previous album, we had Manana and Zoe speaking about the world, you know, on I Wish, and where we speak about the atrocities happening in the world and how we wish, but we can't keep wishing. We have to be better to make it better. And so I think that when you do give the music a chance to listen to it in its fullness, then you get to have a broader view of my idea of what love is, and how I am exploring it for myself in my journey. Because really, it's my reflection of the world, this project. It isn't to say that this is the way and the truth. It's only to say this is my way and my truth.
I get you.
You know, so yeah, that's how I'm reflecting in this music.
Look, you say you've had to have conversations with God, even through the music.
Yeah.
And asking him, why am I constantly going through pain? Do you feel like you've been constantly just been going through battle after battle?
Yeah, I've lost a lot of people that have meant the world to me in my life. I've had a great deal of loss in my life. A lot of people that
Friends?
My grandmother, most of my mother's sisters, friends. When I was in high school, my boyfriend died of suicide. And so losing Lindsay was the second time that I'd lost love.
It was like, no ways.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, why not this again? And why not me? Because it happens to everyone in the world. If not me, then who?
Sure.
You know? And so it was quite difficult to accept the circumstance, but it's also about the decision that comes after you get to that place of pain. am I going to drown in it? Or am I going to find myself in what I've lost and understand how it's affecting me right now and why it affects me in the way that it does? And how do I claw my way out? Because with the first loss, it took me a very long time to make peace about it. It took me almost 10 years to come to peace with Liso's passing. And even in my relationship with Lintwi, he had to deal with this ghost. You know? And in losing Lintwi, because I'd known this previous relationship that had a ghost in it, I knew that moving forward, I couldn't do that to another person. And I couldn't find myself in a place again where I carry grief on my shoulders every day, in my eyes, on my soul. And I made a conscious decision to say, I mean, obviously because I'd lost someone the first time around, the way I navigated this relationship was based on death. That love first, love always was based on the fact that if I ever lose you, I need to make sure that we're good. Because the first one, when he went, we were not in a good place when he died. And I never want to feel like that again. And so the love first and the fixing and the peace and all of that existed in my relationship with Lintwe was because I had been through it with someone else where I felt so unresolved and in pain because I did not put love first and grace first, that I then walked into this new relationship with the thought process of, I have to treat you with the thought that you might go. And because I think of you in that kind of way, no matter how much you hurt me, no matter how much pain we go through, I'm going to always try work it out or find forgiveness or find peace. It might not be immediately, but at some point I need to be at peace with you. And so even in his going, I was lucky that I was in that place with him of the peace, of the coming to Cape Town to come and mend the love and, you know, find one another in that kind of way again. And so, yeah, I think that there's been a lot of loss, but that loss has taught me a lot. And that it's made me stronger. It's made me more self-assured. It's made me grow up in many ways, you know, because a lot of the people that I've lost were always the people that coddled me a lot, which was a tough thing to accept for me. I would say the you know, and I'm left with the ones who are quite hard on me. But it was also maybe just about me getting to that place of realizing that life is hard, and only when you accept that it's hard does it become easier.
Would you say now you're at a point where through healthy tools, you have a healthy relationship with pain?
I think I'm in pursuit of that healthy relationship with pain.
Yeah.
I'm still in therapy. I'm still working on dealing with a lot of the things that I've been through. Yeah, there's still a thing of compartmentalizing things when it comes to me, where it's like, okay, it's work time, I need to work. Okay, it's this time I need to be here and be present in this. Okay, now I'm home alone and now I have no choice but to sit and feel the emotions. And so now I can really engage with those feelings, with the sadness, with the pain, with all of that. And so, I think that once I don't have to separate them and I can just exist with the acceptance of all at once, then I'll know that I have come to a healthy place with pain. Right now, I'm in pursuit of that place.
Are they real friendships in the industry?
Are there real friendship in the industry? Yes, I think there are. But it's between the both of you to make it real. Because there are people who only want to be your friend for the events. There are people who only want to call you when we're going to the summers, to the metros, to an event, to a party, to lunch,
For
for
a picture moment.
Instagram,
Yeah.
all of that. And then there's a friend like Unoktula for me, right? Who is in my whole life. My parents know her. My whole family knows her. She's been there peeling carrots. Ekhaya Dipklufu kushoniwe.
Yeah.
Fia namascones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing with me. Her grandmother's passing, I was there. Uncle, when her baby was born, when we had the baby shower and all of those things, I've been there for her, and we've been able to protect each other as well through the things that we've been through. And we share our friendship when we feel like it. Because we see each other more than people see that we're with each other.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like because sometimes we'll talk about it and she go, "Oh, you have a single coming out. Let's go." And I actually want to post you.
Yeah.
And like, she's honest about the fact that she wants to leverage her influence
Sure.
to up my listenership.
Your career.
Yeah, my career. And
Yeah.
so it's not
love
a
it.
contrived thing
Yeah.
that happens, in silence of each other, but it's an actual conversation to say, how can I support you now that Blood and Water is out? Yeah, because I love you and I'm very proud of
Yeah.
you. Also, I know how much you've put into this.
Correct.
You know? But also in the same breath, I've also had friends who only wanted to be friends for like
The
2
good sides.
seconds.
Yeah.
You know, and then when things got hard, they left, you know? Or I left. Because I don't absolve myself of enjoying the fun of being famous, especially at the beginning of it. I was like in a squad of people where we were all like emerging stars, you know, some of them were on television shows.
I remember that.
Yeah. So we were all like super, super excited.
That's a YouTube.
Yeah.
Oats.
And you know, you see, the thing is with that, the friendship, we were very real with one another, and I think the intent was real.
Yeah.
But we all grew up at some point, and some people had to go different directions. And so, yeah, we had boats, and boats was fun. America and I had known each other from high school. Met some of her friends. She met some of my friends. We then become this big conglomerate, and we go everywhere together, and we're having this fun. And eventually, you realize, Uguti, okay, this is what I enjoy more. I'm a club person, actually. Sorry, I'm not a club person. I'm trying to be at an art fair and at Nyrox and at a nice restaurant. So these are the people that I end up gravitating toward. You're more of someone that likes a DJing situation and all of that. And, you know, America leaves and she goes to China and she decides that she's going to go and explore life on her own because she wants to understand herself as an individual and not someone in a collective. And so growth happened. We were also like, 22, 23? And we were, it was exciting, you know, it was exciting that we could all go out and be together and we were all experiencing this thing for the first time with each other. And it was fun. But just Kulile, and those who are still there are there, and those who have blossomed in their own corners, I'm so happy to always see and watch them be who they were always meant to be.
We're nearing the end of our conversation.
Yeah.
If you had no choice,
Yeah.
and God said you have to swap from anywhere in the world with another artist and you come back to life as that artist, who is it and why?
Frank Ocean. So easy for me. I don't want to swap with him because of the songwriting. I think he's an incredible songwriter. But also I love his autonomy. I love that he decides when he shows up and shows out and when he disappears. I love that he doesn't need to be in our face all the time. That he chooses how to do life. And he's such a huge star, but we know so little about him.
Sure.
You know, so it would definitely be Frank Ocean.
Interesting.
It would definitely be Frank Ocean. I want to be in LA.
You must give us the hair.
I want to be like orange kusheshe in LA dating a pretty model.
Orange hair.
Exactly.
Langa Mavuso, do you believe right now You're living in your purpose.
Sure. Yeah. I definitely think that in the place that I'm in right now, I'm definitely living in my purpose. I think that I've settled into knowing that umsebenzi wami is to be a vessel, of truth. And to do that, I must face my own truth and share my own truth fearlessly in order to allow others to feel that courage to do it for themselves. Because I think that is what at the center of it is, it's truth. Because all the other things are just merely moments and experiences that force me to engage with myself, even these relationships, even this loss, even the mess, it was all a moment of a mirror up to myself to go, this is who you are right now, and this is what has transpired. And so how do you become more of it or less of it? And so I think that I'm definitely living in my purpose, and I'm a work in progress.
Fair.
Always. And I think that the progress will be done when I die. Because isn't that the end goal? If we're chasing an end goal, there's only one that's guaranteed for us all, is that it's the grave. And so I hope that by the time I've gotten to the grave, that I'm empty, that I've given all that I was meant to give here, and that I've filled the cups of those that I needed to fill, and that I have shared and experienced all the best things in the world. And I always say to everyone, like, live a life that you can fall in love with every single day. And that's what I try to do.
And last but not least, Langa Mavuso, what's that one thing in life that you know for sure and you're absolutely certain of?
Ooh, the one thing in life that I know for sure is that change is inevitable. And so it is important to accept now that things don't stay the same. They always evolve. And so never to be comfortable in the place that you're in, but rather to accept and to try find your grounding so that as things move, you aren't shaken. Yeah.
I think that's powerful, because with change comes evolution.
Yeah.
With change comes loss.
Yeah.
And if you have a good relationship with change, it means loss won't destroy you. Be it loss through death or loss through ending of time, of relationship.
Yeah.
Because there are people who end their own lives because a relationship ended.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a good relationship with change.
Sure.
Some people go through divorces and think it's the end of them, but it's the end of a marriage.
Yeah.
Doesn't signify the end of you. So I love that.
Yeah. I wish that we could take change the way that nature does.
Sure.
Like, I wish that we could accept the falling of our leaves the way that a tree does, because when spring comes, it blooms again.
Sure.
As if those leaves that came before were never, it just moves on. And so who are we to think that we're part of this ecosystem, but we are the only ones who are exempt from the seasons of life? And that's just like how life is and how God is that he shows us in everything that the sun can't shine every single day. And so why must it be bright in your life every day? And if the leaves must fall from the tree, why must everything that you get, why must you keep it always? Because some things have to fall. So get your roots right. That's my thing.
Langa Mavuso says change is inevitable.
Yeah.
In all seasons, and the beauty of seasons, it actually means change.
Yes.
Because season means spring, summer, autumn, winter, if we're being direct. But if we're being abstract about it, it means the loss, the pain, the beauty, the celebration, the excitement in your own life. You need to be present in all of those and understand that that season too is okay. Langa Mavuso, thank you so much.
Thank you
for the privilege of honoring us with your time and sharing just the vulnerability of everything.
Thank you for having
you've
me.
been through. The show is Engineer Your Life, and I'm Lungelo KM. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm judging you who's watching without subscribing, because what is it that you're doing? I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.